What is up? What is up? And welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt. We're talking UFC 313. We got a fucking banger card for. Shouldn't have cussed. We got a stinking banger card for you. Sipping on some harp. I'm joined by Cody and Noah, but Noah's busy in a tackle box or something. And come on, man. We're professionals here. What is up, boys? Pumped for the card. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm fucking pumped. I'm ready for this card. I've been I'm trying not to get too excited. I've not been listening to too many podcasts on it because I just get too pumped and too like anxious, ready for it to happen. So I'm just letting this week come to me. How are you doing, Cody?
Doing good, man. It's been a long 3 weeks of some really crappy fight nights.
Yeah,
Uh, it's been long. It's been long due for a nice pay-per-view, man.
yeah, this is definitely a nice card. I'm pumped for it. Prelims, main card, it's all looking good. And you're coming off a killer week of bets. You were up over 2,200 bucks on the week. You're up over 2,800 year to date, almost 29. I'm up 225 on the week. I thought I was like Cody put parlays in. I beat him, no problem, no question. I beat this kid. Nope. Yeah, 3 for 3. Got some parlays. Got the main card. Yep. We get it. You're ahead. I went risky with my picks because I didn't realize yours hit, and we'll see how we go after this week. I got a lot more money to make than I ever do. I normally play it safe, and it's been doing me good. But it gives you the chance to get out to those big leads. We are, like you said, coming off of a terrible fight night. Coming off several terrible fight nights. And the Almabayev Cop fight ends in a weird way, just like the Cejudo Song Yadong fight does. But Cop looked good the whole time. He's stuffing takedowns, beating up on Almabayev. In this fight, he looks good, even if it was kind of an eye scratch to a knockout finish. Do you think this fight gets him that championship match? Because I'll start with Cody here, but my take on it is I think it does. I think that when you look at the division, the guys Pantoja's beat in front of Cop, even though Cop's only ranked 6. Cop's the most entertaining. He styles on everybody. He's fun to watch, and he's got that knockout power. Yeah, he's lost to Pantoja also, but it was in his UFC debut. I think you give it to him. I don't want to see any other matchup but Cop and Pantoja. What do you think, Cody? You first.
I've heard a lot of people say the same thing you've said here, and I think we have to wait and see how the year plays out. Honestly, we got to see how Royval plays out because he dropped out of his last fight. We got to see how he looks. Um, who knows what Kai Card France is going to look like? I know these are all people that have lost to Panteo, but Pantoja, Jesus Christ. But I just don't know yet. I mean, I know Cop looked really good. It looks fun. He's exciting. It'll be the one that'll sell the most fights. But I think we have to wait and see what the year plays out. I think he is right now the most deserving because, like you said, Pantoja's beat every single person in that division. He's got a chokehold on it. It just what rematch does he want at this point, you know? And it's just a matter of who it is. But Cop's been calling him out, and Pantoja replied to him the other day, so there's a little something there. So we
Yeah.
could be seeing that.
And what do you think, Noah?
I mean, I would say debatably, a lot of people just even last week were kind of talking about Kai Kara France fighting in the title. So I mean, I don't know if you can just give his cop right away, just because I mean there's a lot of talks from what I've seen about him getting the title shot, and then, I mean I know he had a good performance, but I just know that Kai just kind of has been putting in a lot of work for a long time, so he might be more deserving of Dana's eyes. So I think it's kind of up for grabs between them two.
So you guys both think it's either Kai or Cop, and I think the same. I'm gonna give a point this round to Noah because Cody, you mentioned Brandon Royval. We got to see what happens with him, and I think that because he pulled out of this fight, he was supposed to fight Cop in this. This was his chance to get back to a Moreno fight, so they can settle the trilogy with those two to see if he can get back to a Pantoja fight because he's already lost to Pantoja 3 times. Brandon Moreno's lost to Pantoja 3 times. So I think you guys are both looking at the same thing. It's just that Roy Ball thing with him losing and then having to pull out of the fight. Now, my take on the Kai Kara France thing, I actually don't really agree with either of you on that. And a lot of people do think KKF's next, but the guy had to pull out of a Manel Kopp fight. He's coming off of a nasty knockout of Steve Erceg, but before that, he lost two in a row. And if you're getting a title shot off of one win when you lose two in a row, I just don't think that looks good, even though he's the only guy that Pantoja hasn't fought outside of the Ultimate Fighter. It's just like, do we really want to set that precedent that you need one win to get a title shot? Like, I know Kopp lost to Ankalaev, but other than the loss to Ankalaev, he's on a two-fight winning streak by finish, and he was on a 5 or 6 fight tear by finish before that. So I just think when you look at the resumes, you look at everything there, and I like what you said with the with selling the most tickets, Cody, and I think that ultimately is what the UFC is looking at. So letting the year play out, yes. Selling the most tickets, it would be Cop anywhere except for Australia, and I think that's what the holdout is. I think that if they have a card coming up at end mid to end summer in Australia, they'll probably, even if it's a fight night over there, they'll probably put KKF and Pantoja. But does Pantoja want to fight in Australia? The guy's been going all around. He's fought everybody from everywhere, anywhere, anytime. So the KKF just doesn't seem. I think the guy needs another win, and I don't know who he could fight because he's also everybody's fought everybody. This is what you and me have been saying, Cody, with the division turnover, with these guys just holding it up. And Kopp is that next face that like he's fought these guys, but he still has a chance to get up there and do something great. He's got miles left on him. He's still young. I like Kopp for the title next. I think that that would just be the most entertaining fight, and I want to see the most entertaining fights. And I don't think 1 and 2 in your last three is enough to merit a title shot. So that's all we have about last week's card because there's not much
You
else.
do you ever think that Pandoja's going to move up to bantamweight?
I could see Pantoja moving up to take on Marab. Um, I don't see who else he would want to fight there. Maybe Umar. O'Malley's not really an entertaining fight for him, I don't think, because it's just such a size difference, even though they've sparred
Mm,
together. But I would like to see that. And Pantoja is one of the guys that I think could move up. And if he won it, he could defend both for a little while before he retired. But I'm not huge on the double champ thing because it also clogs up divisions. But when you have a guy
right.
like Pantoja who's cleared his out, a girl like Zhang Wei Li who cleared theirs out, I think that that warrants moving up. And same with Marab. Marab, even though he only has two or one title defense, he's cleaned his division out. I mean, before he got that. So yeah, I do think that could happen. But so round 1 point, it was close because Cody brought up some good points. But we'll go with Noah on that. But we're going to move on to UFC 313 topics now. What the people care about, and I think the most talked topic going into this weekend is Gaethje versus Hooker. That fight fell out. Hooker breaks his hand, and there were tons of names circulating this fight when it got announced that Hooker was pulling out and Gaethje was going to continue to fight. You had Gamrot throw his name in the hat. You had Fiziev who got the fight. You had Moicano. You had Poirier rumors. You had people talking about Sarukian. But at the end of the day, they go with the rematch with Fiziev. I hear a lot of people hating on it. I love this matchup because it's going to be a baller fight. Somebody's getting slimed on. My son wanted me to say that, and this someone's getting slimed on. But this fight's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be fun. But for you guys, we'll start with Noah since he got the point last round. Is this the fight you wanted to see out of all those possible matchups, or is there somebody else that you would have rather seen in this position with Hooker falling out?
Uh, I mean, I don't want to say yes or no because I mean, I really do like the fight. Their fight at 286 was definitely a banger. Like, that was a fucking war. So I mean, I think it's granted, being that it was such a good fight to see it again. But do I think that it was the best fight? No, not necessarily. Even for the both of them, not just one or the other. Like I feel like with Gaethje, honestly, it probably been much better for me to see him versus Colby. I think that'd be a really fun fight to see.
Or like a catchweight thing?
Hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just Colby's doing the Ultimate Fighter thing right now with Chael Sonnen. So they're talking about Colby potentially versus Michael Chiesa, and there was another Colby matchup I saw circulating at 170 still. But I don't hate that matchup. But I take it you're a Colby hater then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just honestly would love to see that fight. That'd be so fun.
That
Especially
was
just, I think the
wild.
cardio of the two would be crazy to see.
That would be a
Yeah.
wild pace. What
Oh
about you?
yeah,
Sorry, I
no, you're good.
go ahead.
I definitely that's the one I would like to see, and then maybe even for Fiziev though, um, I would like to see something like him versus like someone like Patty. Um, I think that would be a good fraud check for Patty.
Dude, but Patty's got the best fight for Patty booked. Patty
Oh
versus.
yeah, definitely. I just
So
think that would be a good fraud check for him, just like for on Fiziev's side.
I
I
think
think it's gonna be definitely a good fight.
matchup for Patty. Yeah, with the way Patty strikes,
Hmm.
game goes to Patty there. But yeah, so but you like Colby in that one for Gaethje. That
Yeah.
would that's a dark horse. Nobody mentioned Colby. I like that. Noah or Cody got two O's right after your first letter. It's
Nody, Cody.
Cody. What say you, my friend?
I'm perfectly pleased with this fight. I think Poirier would have been fun. But if you look at Moicano or Gamrot, I think this is the better matchup for Gaethje because it's the tougher matchup. He's coming off the loss to Holloway, so he needs. I think for them being at the older age, I think, like he said back in 286, this was an absolute war. I think we just seen the war that he did against with Max Holloway. I think we're in line for another one. I think I think a lot of the media is not happy about this, but a lot of the deep UFC fans I'm reading on the Reddit forums and all that, they're pumped for this because they know what kind of fight they're about to get. And a challenge like this for Gaethje is really, really important for him in the later stages of his career to just to be able to keep climbing if he wants that shot at least one more time.
Exactly. I think we said this last week, Cody, where we mentioned, this is when they said this fight was announced, it was this will decide if Gaethje's doing fun fights now or if he's going for the title. That's
Yep.
what and I want to see him do fun fights. He's older, he's coming off a nasty knockout versus Holloway. I want to see him do fun fights. I love this matchup. I think, like you said, the media hating on it, the fans, they should love it. You both said it's a banger. It's a banger matchup. The first one was awesome. Either guy could have walked away with it and nobody would have been upset. It was an awesome matchup. This fight is going to be the same. I think Fiziev, he's had a lot of time off from his knee injury and he's coming back, but I don't think that's going to affect him all that much other than he's still fresh. I think Gaethje coming off that knockout, that's not great. That was, and there was footage that came out this week where he seized up a little bit after the knockout. I also saw that like today or yesterday was the first time he watched the Max Holloway fight. I don't like that the week of the fight. I think that's weird. Bad for your psyche, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Cody on the point for this round. We're 1-1. Um, I like Cody went into a little more detail. You mentioned what the fans are feeling. You're getting a feel for the fans on the Reddit pages. I'm on the X pages looking at the same thing. Media's hating on it, and I don't know why. Because yeah, it's a rematch. We saw it, but it's gonna be a banger fight, probably fight of the night. All right. So we'll move on from that. It's tied up 1-1. Cody, what is your sleeper fight for this card? What fight is being overlooked that's going to be a banger? And
It's
I'm
on the main. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm ready to get into this. I'm sorry.
I'm going to be hypercritical, and I'm going to tell you if your guys' fights suck.
Well, I don't think this fight's gonna suck because this is Matt. You know what I'm a sucker for.
Tall guys banging it out.
I love dudes banging it out. Give me Turner versus Bahamondes, baby. I think the straight striking from Turner in the unreal freaking pace of Bahamondes with his strikes, dude. he'll have 106 strikes by the end of this freaking 3-round fight. And Turner, with the power that he has just behind his straight right hand, is insane. There's no ground game going to be in this fight. This is going to be an all-out striking war, strategic, straight to the freaking hold people to the fence, getting their grapples in, no takedowns, like I just said, just an all-out, just stance up boxing war. I think this one's going to be a sleeper. It's on the main card. It's supposed to be a top-notch fight. I think it might be up there with the Perreira fight that night.
I like it. I think that prob maybe would have been my sleeper. I don't know. I didn't really pick one up because I was letting you guys go at it. But Noah, what say you on this topic, my friend?
Man, he took the words right out of my mouth. Literally. That's what I was going to go for as well. Jalen Turner versus Baha Mendez. I was shocked that they're going to
Well,
like do a stylistic matchup like that. It's not necessarily shocked, I should say, but like just glad because I'm the same way as him. I really enjoy just like the really tall, lanky dude just banging it out. Like that's the most fun fights to watch in UFC. Because especially dudes that just do not care to take it down the ground. Like that's what fans love to see is stand and bang. Like,
well, so
Whoa.
since you guys had the same pick, Cody got to go first. Noah, I'll be a little lenient. What's your runner up in this? What's your runner up in this? What's also going to be a great fight? And we'll see if you can salvage a point out of this.
well, I'm just gonna have to go say the same fight we were just talking about the last time, which is Gaethje and Fiziev. I think that's definitely gonna be. I mean, it's a co-main event, so I mean, not necessarily a sleeper, but I think it has the most potential for the greatest outcome.
Yeah,
I
and
think.
when you look at what the media is saying, it is a sleeper, but it's not. You know, it's going to be a bomb ass fight.
Hmm.
Um, hmm. That's a tough one to pick because you guys picked the same thing, and then you picked the co-main event, which is going to be a bomb ass fight. But sleeper, I think as far as a sleeper, we're looking at Joshua Van, Ray Tura. We're looking at Bruno Ferreira, Armin Petrozzi. I mean, the prelims are just stacked, dude. They're so much fun. Chris Gutierrez, John Castaneda, gonna be fun. It's a good card. I'm gonna give you guys a wash. Nobody gets a point in that round because you guys said the same things. I'm not gonna be like, well, Cody said one more thing on his point. No, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think on the main event, that's definitely gonna be the sleeper fight, though, for sure. I don't think there's any question that
I don't
that's
think
probably gonna be one of the best fights
it's
on the card.
gonna be. I think Pereira's gonna fucking break his legs off. He's gonna mangle him off the rip. Magomed Ankalaev doesn't know how to check a leg kick.
Turner's style is just so fun to watch, especially against someone like that. It's just going to
Oh,
be an
dude.
insane fight.
And Bahamondes goes to
Just
war.
straight.
Yeah,
And he's
just
one of the best kickboxers right now in the whole entire UFC, in my opinion. Like he is one of the most
that,
high IQ kickboxing.
that
It's unbelievable.
and that pace you mentioned, Cody. He trains with Bilal Muhammad, and everybody that trains with Bilal has just this crazy pace they put on people. And
And he doesn't stop. It's the best part about it. And once he gets past the second round, halfway through the second round, whoever's against him is just you're in trouble.
yeah, you're melting against him. I mean, Ludovic Klein got him in a unanimous decision. Other than that, though, he's been on a tear since joining the UFC. All right, so we got the sleeper fights in. We're gonna go with this Magomed Ankalaev topic, the Ramadan. Is it gonna be affecting him a whole lot? Is this a whole lot of excuses before the fight? Is it mind games? What do you guys think it is? We'll start with Noah this time since it was a wash and Cody got to go first. So Noah, Ramadan, Ankalaev, what's going on?
Bro, that's just an absolute built-in excuse. Like I know we all saw the stuff this week too about how he's at the UFC PI, had meals with times and dates. Like, I don't
This,
think that there's anything more to that than he's eating right now, and he just wants that. So if he does lose, say, well, it was Ramadan. Like, I couldn't eat till right after the fight or before the fight, and I just think that the reality is he is eating. He's not saying they're not doing that. I mean, it's the biggest fight of his life. You think he's really just gonna sit there and just stop eating for that? Like that's a huge thing, especially when he's cutting that weight. Like once you're done, you're gonna need to eat right then and there for your body
you're
to
gonna
even
get
like gain
proper
anything back.
nutrition, not cutting that weight. Absolutely. Cody,
Yes.
Ramadan effect. Is it real? Is it gazy? Is it mind games? Is it an excuse? What are we looking at here? Because Yeah, I mean, he might be doing the fasting up until this week. I heard some. I'm sorry, I'll let you talk. I just want to throw this in. I did hear that he was changing it up the week of the fight, so he might have fasted because Ramadan isn't you don't eat all month. You only eat and drink at night. But that makes
Sunrise, sundown.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do
So
you,
he
Cody?
so he could be piling it on at nighttime, like you guys are saying, like whenever he needs to get his calories in or whatever. Um, I'm gonna side with Noah on this one. I don't want to say it's fugazi because we see other athletes go through it. I mean, God rest, he just got hurt really bad, but Kyrie goes through it. He does Ramadan. There's plenty of other fighters out there that do Ramadan. There's NFL players that'll go through it. Um,
But
they're
wait,
they're just they're well trained athletes, and he already has a win back in I think 2022 during Ramadan. So he's won doing this fast before. He won on I think it was a March 15th fight in 2022. Um, and he was fasting then, so he knows how to handle this. He's 32 years old. He's had some trips around the sun, so it shouldn't really be a factor for him. Just for he's dealt with this before. He knows how to train with it, and he's sacrilegious. You know how they are with Allah and all that. So they're gonna be true to their belief in their core. You know.
so real quick before I move on to my point, do you think Kyrie getting hurt might have had something to do with Ramadan? Not proper nutrition? No.
No, because there's a stat that came out that Kyrie's played the most minutes over the last 2.5 seasons. So
Might have
I think and plus now Kyrie's like what 32, 33.
just
The,
wearing on the body.
he and whenever he was a Cavalier way back in the day, he
He,
did have a lot of knee issues. So,
that'd
but
be,
the way he bent, it was sad to see.
But
I
he
thought
just
that
turned
too.
Muslim, though, I believe.
what'd you say?
I think he just turned Muslim in the last like 3 to 4 years. I could be wrong, but
Did in Boston, but no, we. He was just saying he's had injuries in the past,
mhm.
so he thinks it's wear and tear. Which, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Now with the Ramadan thing, I'm kind of with you guys. He's fought in Ramadan before. He's done it, and I don't even think he's using it as an excuse as much as he's just trying to like use it as fire to be like, Pereira's always ducking me. He's always trying to have an advantage. He hasn't fought me. He should have fought me the last three fights or whatever he's had, but he hasn't. And now he wants to fight me, but only during Ramadan. I don't think he's doing the whole Ramadan thing because he's in the training, but I think that it's more of just like getting fuel for the fire, trying to get people to believe that Pereira is scared to fight him straight up. So that one, I'm gonna I'm gonna roll with Cody. I'm gonna roll with Cody. It's a close one. Um, I just like the extra points. Like you said, Ramadan hasn't affected everyone. I think it's different in the fight game and different for different people. The intensity you take Ramadan to, because if you're like a Khabib, you're like an Islam. Those guys are not fighting in Ramadan. Those guys are because they cut so much weight and those kinds of fighters you can't do that. But when you're just competing and you're not having to cut a ton of weight, it's probably better. But yeah, we'll go
No, to their biometrics and all that, that is completely unhealthy to do that. I mean, for to go a full 6 to 8 week fight camp and then have 3 or 4 weeks of it be through Ramadan,
right.
it's awful on your body. And
Your
like,
diet's all messed up because you're only eating at one time. So then,
yeah, you might be okay now, but in 10 to 12 years, your joints and stuff they might not recover the same if you go through 3, 4 Ramadans of a fight camp.
absolutely. So Cody's up 2-0. This is our last question.
2-1, 2-1, 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. Sorry, last question. So it could end up a tie, and if it's a tie, I guess we'll go off performance in the main card breakdown. That gives Cody a big advantage. He's been doing this show pretty consistently. Noah didn't try to learn my new number. He didn't ever find out I got a new number, so he.
Nobody ever told me.
I was self conscious. It's a telemarketer number. I mean, it's got a weird area code. It's not our area code. It's weird.
hmm Just trying
All
to
right.
duck everyone.
So, last question. From the prelims to the main card to the main event, we're wondering, Cody, how do you grade this card? A through F. You can add some pluses, some minuses, but don't give me an F minus or you're going to lose. Because that's not a grade. If you fail, you fail.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it an F minus. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck, you're
Um,
out.
no.
Fine.
I think I'm gonna off rip give it a B. Um, I think if the Dan Hooker fight was still going, I'd give it a B plus. Um, but it has I have the optimism to make it an A minus.
Like on performance, it could end up being an A.
Performance, yes, because like you said with the prelims, I think there's a couple prelim fights on there that could compete with the freaking
You
Luciano fight, and it can compete with the Green fight. You know,
have prelims that end up being just fucking nuts. Like,
exactly. And I think the Green and Duffy fight. I think Duffy's just rise is the reason why he's only on that. But I think there's a couple on the prelims that could have taken that spot. So I like that. We're gonna have a couple entertaining fights in the 8 o'clock slots. Um, but off rip B would have been a B plus if Dan Hooker didn't break his hand, and then I would have had the optimism into a full A. But I'm just at an A minus because based off performance.
so before we go to Noah, I think every card has the possibility to be an A plus.
Right.
I think every card could surprise me because that card last week that I was talking about that was absolute shit as far as the names and stuff, nothing worth talking about. Watching the card was fucking awesome. Like it was a fun card to watch. And the weekend before that, where we had 7 prelim finishes, 8 total finishes, terrible card as far as names. Super fun to watch. So, but yes, I do like what you said. Losing the Hooker fight just slightly lowers it, maybe like half a grade value because the physique fight's still a banger and Gaethje's still on the card. Noah, what say you, my friend?
I'm just gonna go off the rip and say every card that there's less Dagestani fighters on is so much better to me. So that's why I love the month of March. Honestly, like, you get a little bit less Dagestani. So honestly, like usually March cards will tend to be like more of my favorite ones. So I mean, I'm gonna go with a B plus on it for me. I think from the main event standpoint, there's really no like fight that's not worth sitting there watching for. There's usually a fight you can stand up and go take a pee for, and it's like whatever during the main event. But I
Lamos.
think this has, yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's still gonna be a good fight, but you can definitely walk away from that one. But I think like generally overall is not like lacking anything. So I think it has a chance to be like you said an A plus. But I think if if the Hooker one for me was still on there, I think it'd been an A minus. I really liked a lot of fights in the card.
So I gave it an A minus myself. I think this card is really well put together. With you got your main event with the champ fight. You got Gaethje in the co-main. I wish it was a 5 round. It's a 3, but that's okay. And then you got a great feature fight with Jalen Turner, Bahamondes. The Lemos versus Lucindo fight. Not super pumped for, but Lemos does have knockout power, and Lucindo is kind of a firecracker. That could be a fun fight. It could also be just a drag. King Green, Mauricio Ruffy. Awesome fight. So I actually give the main card an A. Prelims are also bomb. You got Joshua Van, super big fan versus Ruchara. Tsura. You got Curtis Blades taking on Rizvan Kazirov. And then you got Bruno Ferreira, Armin Petrosian. You got Alex Morono versus Carlos Leal. That's going to be a banger. Morono's a warrior. He's either getting knocked out or he's going to just make it a fucking war. Myron Santos on the early prelims. He's the Ultimate Fighter winner. This dude he doesn't fight a whole lot, but he's super well rounded, super safe fighter at featherweight. But he's just a beast. He's huge at featherweight also. 15-1. I'm excited to see him. Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. I love leg kick fights. This is an A minus for me. I could go A, but like you said, Cody, the Dan Hooker does drop it a letter grade. I'm gonna go with Noah on the point for this because he was closer to my grade. But I do appreciate what both of you are saying, and I could see how you come to a B on this because when you look at a 315, a possible A plus right now, And then a fight night like Kansas City, that's possibly an A for a fight night, those kinds of things. So it could be better. There's better things out there.
I
But
thought they could have. I thought they could have done better in the King Green slot. I think if they would have done, if they could have got a better fight there, maybe, or a better opponent for Duffy, I
well,
think that would have been fine. But
see, I think it gives Ruffy a chance to get one. If he gets this, he gets a ranked fighter after this, and it's an entertaining fight. It's so bizarre to see Bobby Green as an underdog though against strikers because he's a nasty striker. He struggles when you take him to the ground, especially now that he's a little older. But oh, fucked my neck up trying to look at you sideways, trying to be silly.
sorry, I was trying to ignore a FaceTime call.
Oh, it's good. So we're at 2-2, and we're going into the main card breakdown. Unprecedented times here. You know, second head to head matchup we've had, and we're going in tied. So we're gonna go off your performances here. Maybe it'll extend into the bets if you guys put up pretty good performances here. I'm gonna start with Cody. We got Perreira versus Ankalaev. I already said I think Ankalaev's legs are getting chopped up, mangled, and battered. How do you see this fight going down, dude?
A lot of the public's on Ankalaev for some reason, and I don't understand why. I mean, we've had Pereira move up and still prove that he can do it moving up. So I know Ankalaev's on 11 fight win streak. I think he's on right now. The one thing is Pereira is more physically empowering here, and I know that his opponent has the wrestling on, he has the ground game, but we've seen Pereira be able to take it to the ground and hold his own and bring it back up standing. And he has a good takedown defense. That's the big thing with him. And he has a good sub defense. He's just really, really good defensively all around. And once he just gets you back up to where he wants you, it's just game over. He's a freaking animal. And he's just going to overwill you. He's going to overpower you. He's going to get you against the cage. He's going to grapple you, and he's just going to use his elbows. He's going to knee you. He's going to use. He's a big body. He's a muscular big back, and he's just going to put his weight on you, tire you out. Even though you're a wrestler, you've never dealt with.
Did you just say he's a muscular big back?
He's a muscular big back boy.
Dude,
You already.
my kids go around saying that to people.
And I think he's got it here. And like you said, he's got to go for the legs early. He's got to do it early. He can't wait to get into the fourth and fifth round to do it, because then Ankalaev is going to get into the ground game, is when he's going to start trying to use the fatigue game, but he's going to try and tire you out and get some points.
Hold
He
up.
can get in there early.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
So if we can get in there and sorry, I almost lost my train of thought there. So if he can get in there early and you attack the legs, I think Pereira's got this. But now for Ankalaev, I think if he can't let it be a stand up fight though, and he's got to be the one to take it to the ground early. I think for him, if he doesn't take it to the ground early and he makes it a stand up fight, there's nothing that he's really going to be able to do in this one. I think it's going to be game over, and we're going to still see the champ be the champ.
Why do these guys want to strike with Peloton? Noah, you're back from communication issues, my friend.
Yeah. I got a phone call. I actually lost my phone.
Confidence. Put your shoulders back, brother. Say this kick. Break this fight down with some oomph in your chest, brother. Let's hear what you got. How's Peloton doing this shit? How's he getting it done? How's the UFC's golden child doing this, my friend? Or is it going the other way?
I mean, I definitely think I was gonna find a way to get it done. Like you said, why do people want to stand with him? Everyone says they're not going to, or I guess a lot of people are saying they are going to, but you haven't really heard from Uncle Live like directly. Because I saw him on Twitter saying that something about you want to go wrestle for 5 rounds for 25 minutes with him.
He said that the other day, but he said all the way leading into this fight, he's like, I'm going to be the guy that knocks Pereira out. I'm going to strike with him. I'm going to show my striking. And it's just like, brother, brother.
I don't even take that serious though when he says that. That's why I don't believe that he believes that himself though.
What you got,
So,
Cody? Real quick.
No, you're good. I have something to add whenever Noah's done giving his point because it just gives on to the Ankalaev spiel.
All right, what's up, Noah? What you got, brother? So
but I think Alex is gonna have to keep himself backed up. He can't be in the middle of the ring. I think the middle of the ring's gonna be the scariest place for him in the fight. So I think if he keeps Uncle Live to the fence, I think they'll have an easy job getting it done. I'd probably say by the third round. But I think if Uncle Live really tries to ride his legs and see what he can do and test his grappling, I think he might be in for a fight, a 5 round fight. But I don't think there's any chance Uncle Live is going to knock him out.
yeah, I mean he could. Anybody could do it.
Right.
I
I
don't
just
see
don't
it
see it.
happening though. You're no Israel Adesanya. So my take on this, Ankalaev got leg kicked to death by Jan Blachowicz. If Pereira does that early, Ankalaev's wrestling's dead. Also, Cody knows this. I'm a big guy on the reach. Guy with a 4-inch reach wins 60% of the time. Alex Perreira has a 4-inch reach on Magomed Ankalaev. I think in this fight, Ankalaev's legs are going to get fucking mangled, destroyed, nerves going to go dead, and Pereira's going to knock him out. Going to beat the shit out of him and make him look silly. And then afterwards, he's going to do a silly little dance on him and make fun of him and make fun of Ramadan. And I think we're seeing the second great heel turn in TKO.
hmm
We just had John Cena turn heel. Cody's tweaking out over here.
I'm sorry, the Chargers just released Joey Bosa. I'm so confused.
That's crazy.
What?
Yeah, the Chargers just released Joey Bosa. I'm sorry to drop this in the middle of what you were talking about, but
Cleveland, Cleveland,
That'd
Cleveland,
be
Cleveland,
crazy.
Cleveland. We
I
can't
hope you
get
say
rid
that. That'd
of
be
him.
amazing. Losing Garrett will take Bosa.
he'll go. But I think he'll go play with his brother.
We're getting.
hmm
Oh God.
We're getting. I don't want to get too off topic here, but on the Ankalaev though, like you said, the John Blankowitz fight.
John Blachowicz. Hey, I gotta.
Blachowicz.
I was.
Blachowicz.
I
Sorry,
was gonna give you this pick on it.
but no,
No,
no. The
no,
thing
real
is,
quick. I gotta
no,
back it up because you called
no.
Ankalaev Ankalev.
I'm sorry, Ankalaev. Relax, Matt. Um, his emotions are trash. He can't keep his emotions in check, and I think if Pereira can get in his head early, I think it's just going to derail Ankalaev and his game plan because we've seen it in the Blachowicz fight that just he can't keep his emotions in check sometimes, and he's like you just said he's talking this week about how he's going to make it a 25-minute wrestling match. No, you're not. You can't keep your emotions in check, and you just let your intrusive thoughts out of your mouth.
Yeah, you're gonna try to strike with the king and go down quick, buddy. I could also see a super quick knockout from Pereira, just left hook. But
That'd be amazing.
it would be. But watch us all be wrong. Could happen. It could happen. We got Gaethje versus Fiziev 2 next. Noah, my brother. How do you see it going down, my dude?
I think it's gonna be just like a last man standing type of fight. I think they're going to sit there bang it out for 5 rounds. I think it's gonna be it's a matter of who's gonna throw the last punch. Like I think it's gonna be an absolute war. I don't really see Gaethje losing the fight, but I think as long as Gaethje stays his pace and just doesn't go too out of pocket and just lose his mind a little bit, because when you take a crazy knockout like that, there's a chance you can kind of lose a little bit of who you are as a fighter. So I don't know if there's gonna be a shell of him in there or not. I think it's gonna be a really good test to see if he really does want to take another chance at a championship run or whatever his plans are. Like you said, fun fights or make a run for the championship. I think he's probably gonna do more fun fights for him going forward because I don't really think that there's gonna be a championship in his future.
I could definitely. That's what I want to see for him is fun fights. Cody, what say ya? What say ya, buddy?
This could go either way. I mean, for some reason, the odd makers have Vazeev as the favorite coming in on short notice after a year and a half breakaway off that bad knee injury. I'm kind of confused. I know that Gaethje came off a bad knockout to Holloway, but Gaethje's been the more active fighter. He's been around. He's been in camps. Um, I just don't understand what the odds makers are seeing here, especially when Gaethje won the previous matchup. I know it was by decision or whatever, but still Gaethje won that war, and he's not getting the favorite here. I'm kind of confused. I got Gaethje winning this one. I think personally, the dude still throws almost 7-6 strikes a minute. I mean, he's freaking disgusting. He has a great accuracy rate. He's got a decent takedown defense. But at this age, earlier in his earlier years, he was great. But he's mainly just been focused on his boxing and his kickboxing as he's gotten older and things like that. Um, for Fiziev, he can't let this get to round 3. He can't. For him, if he wants to win this one, he's got to stay in the earlier rounds. He's got to get Gaethje out early. Gaethje's too experienced. He knows how to get you in the later rounds. He knows how to use his stamina to his advantage and save his gas for when it's needed. Um, like I got Gaethje in this one. I think it's gonna be really close, like how the odds makers have it. I think it's gonna be a split decision, if not maybe close to a a majority decision, you
Yeah,
could say.
for the first one, kind of like it could go either way, but Gaethje's gonna edge it out.
Yeah, I think so, man. I really do. If it doesn't get to be like maybe a TKO mid third round, because it's just gonna be an all out striking war. It's gonna be fun, but for this one here, like we said, Fiziev hasn't gotten fought in a year and a half. He's coming off what has he got 2 weeks notice, if that, week and a half notice.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I think it was 2.5 week notice, something like that.
I mean he's coming in on short notice. Granted, I think the only reason why he took the fight is because he knows the fighter he's coming in against. So I'm still going to give Gaethje the edge here.
Who's not going to take a short notice fight against Justin Gaethje, especially when you're one of those guys that's still on the better end of 35. Fiziev's 32. He's lost to him before, but what a way to springboard yourself up the rankings.
Oh,
And
absolutely. This would be a massive springboard for him.
absolutely,
But I just think it's going to be tough for him. Gaethje's going to have to use his wrestling in the ground game to his advantage, whatever he's got left of it.
I don't think we're going to see that at all.
No.
I don't think we'll see that at all. He goes out there, he wants to go to war, and he has no interest in the ground game. I think that broken nose that he suffered, Gaethje, in that fight against Max Holloway could be a problem in this. If Fiziev can land one of those super fast straight shots down the middle, breaks that nose again, this fight's going to be kind of easy for him, I could see. Just they're the same. I don't see any difference in the first fight with how close it was, other than Gaethje's taken more damage and Fiziev, other than that knee injury that was a long time ago, and he has been rehabbing correctly. He took the right amount of time off. Other than that, he hasn't taken any damage. And that Gamrot fight after the Gaethje fight where he hurt his knee, that was like a 30-second fight before he blew his knee out. So I like Fiziev a lot in this. I think Fiziev's faster. He's younger. Gaethje's getting older, coming off that knockout. Knockouts when you're 30 aren't near as detrimental. They're still pretty bad, but and tough to come back from, but they're not near as detrimental as coming back from a knockout at 36 or 37, where Gaethje's at now. So I like Fiziev in this. I'm going the opposite way of you guys. I could see how you both think, Gaethje, it's tough to see him lose a decision with his pace, with his everything. But he does get hurt, and if he clams up against Fiziev's so fast and so relentless, I think he could get the finish. I like what you said. Round 3 gets a little sketchy for Fiziev, especially coming in short notice. Does the gas tank hold up with that pace that he pushes? And can you withstand the Gaethje storm? I think if it goes to round 3, we're going to be looking at. I might live bet Gaethje for either straight up, or even if he's down 2 rounds, or for a finish in round 3 if it gets there. But I could easily see Fiziev breaking that nose and getting him out of there early, because damage is killer at this age, especially for these lighter weight classes like 155. Good job, gentlemen. Jalen Turner, but everybody's favorite fight, everybody's sleeper fight. Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Cody, me, Coy. How'd you see this going, my friend?
Um, we'll see this later on. I don't want to give my picks away, but it's gonna give my pick away by the way I talk about this.
Okay.
Bob,
Don't know how much you're putting on it.
That's very true. But like we see here with like Bahamondes coming in here, averaging basically 7-6 strikes a minute. With what's the accuracy rate? 50% accuracy. So if he's even connecting on maybe like 70% that fight, he's actually connecting on maybe 10 or 11 6 strikes a minute. So he's really just coming in firing all 5 minutes of every round. I mean, he's just. It seems like he doesn't have a gas tank. It seems like he just runs on like emissions or something, whatever, or crowd.
Yeah.
It's crazy how freaking incredible his motor is, dude. He's a warrior. Um, his left kick to the body is a freaking menace. I mean, he's insane with his leg kicks. I think he's really good here. I think working the body is going to help him out getting to round three. I think if he can get to round three, I think it's going to help him out a lot. He's got to dictate the pace though through halfway through round two, because if not, then Jalen Turner's going to get going here. And the thing with Jalen Turner, he's coming in off a loss. I know he's 2-3 in his last five, but his straight punches are fucking nasty, and I love his straight punches,
Got
dude.
knocked out in that fight and tried to do a walk off. The
I know he got freaking cocky.
fucking screwed. Moicano gets the TKO finish.
He got cocky.
I know
Um,
he could easily be 3-2.
dude, and I think here Jalen Turner, man, he's got the length. He's got the length on him. It's only an inch and a half reach on him, but it's enough for a jab. It's enough to score you points. And I think with his jab combos, and he's got a nasty jab combo, I think that's enough to score him a victory here. Spoiler. I got Jalen Turner here, dude. He's an underdog at like plus 105. It's good money right there. I I don't really see. I do Bob Mondes. He's coming up. He's gonna have plenty more opportunities. But for some reason, I think Jalen Turner's just gonna have the power and the straight punches, and he's gonna have the freaking power behind it and everything. I think he's gonna get TKO finish here.
What say you, Noah?
I don't see this fight really leaving the second round, either way it goes. I think it's probably gonna be one of the better like striking fights of the night, if not the best striking. They're both high level guys in their own respects, and Jalen Turner more of I would say more of a boxer, where Bob Mundez is more of a kickboxer. I think it's gonna be really fun to see, but I don't really know who I really want to go with. But I just want to see someone end up on the floor regardless. So as long as they're painting the canvas, ends on the bottom of it, I'll be happy.
See, I think if you're looking at a finish, Bahamondes, like Cody said, the body kick is there. Finish, I think you're going with Turner. If we're going decision, I like Bahamondes with his pressure
Right.
activity. And I think that, like you said, Cody gets into round three. You don't think it goes to round three, but gets into round three. I think we're going to see Bahamondes just pour it on him, just like the Gaethje fight. He might get a finish just by his pressure and his pace and wearing down Jalen Turner in round three. I'm not trying to babysit you boys. This is UFC 313 Spectacular, the bash, the show. We love this striking affair. You guys haven't been drinking shit.
I'm talking about. I'm on my second tall boy.
Okay, I'm on my third, and I've been.
Mine's I'm just starting my
I'm
second.
halfway gone.
All right. Well, while I introduce this, why don't you guys finish whatever drink you're on?
I'm 3 down, brother.
We're getting into this card, baby.
I was
No,
pre-gaming before, buddy.
yeah, I
Yeah.
doubt it. You're a big old kitty cat.
No, but no.
So the fight everybody's waiting to hear about. Your guys' thoughts on this spectacular matchup between Amanda Lemos and Yat. How dare you? Women's MMA outside of the top five can be entertaining. Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo. Noah.
Especially the strawweight.
Yeah, it's honestly one of the best divisions in the UFC. I love it.
Listen, strawweight is the best women's division right now.
Yeah, that's true. Whaley's in it.
It's
Whaley.
it's just crazy that like I honestly I'm sorry this is a little off topic, but I want them to get like heavyweight women's. I think it'd be fun. Like 165, make it like a heavyweight. You don't think it'd be fun?
So go back a couple years to PFL when Kayla Harrison was over there, and she fought at 155. They made that a division, so she didn't have to
Hmm.
cut weight. Look at the women she fought.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you got a point.
They were not caliber to be in any professional fighting. Like,
I don't know.
You just got to find absolute just yoked nukes.
well,
Yeah,
see,
that's what I'm saying. They got to start building them up or something.
it's just like why the UFC doesn't have a super heavyweight division. It's not that they don't exist, it's that they're so few and far between. You look at a Clarissa Shields in boxing, who's
I'm
like,
sorry, yeah, I don't want to watch Andy Ruiz in a freaking octagon.
but Clarissa Shields, she is a physically imposing woman. She's a two-time gold medalist or a one-time gold
Hmm.
medalist, world champion, undefeated boxer, moved over to MMA, and they had to make a special weight class for her because just she's huge. She's tall, she's physically imposing. But you don't have a ton of people like that. And when you have to make these weight classes, then you're getting people that either are putting on weight to get there or they're cutting to
Forcing themselves.
get there. I love you. My wife's going to bed. But I like the thought. It's just the sport isn't expanded enough there because there isn't to get to that for the UFC. You have to have people like Invicta, and then after the Invictas and the other regional scenes, then you have to have the PFLs adopt it, and then maybe UFC after that has been built up enough to where there's some superstars, they could build a division. But if they did that, I mean, look at their 145. That division completely died because there's nobody there.
Right.
So that being said, we're dropping down to 115, gentlemen. Getting me off topic. Amanda Lemos, Yasmin Lucindo, Cody or Noah. How do you see this war going down?
Um, I don't think it's going to be the most fun fight of the night by any means. I think it has a chance like any fight, but I realistically I don't keep it short and sweet. I think Limos is probably going to come up on top. Um, I like her. She's probably one of my favorite fighters in the UFC division. I've always kind of enjoyed watching her, but I
For
don't
a
know. I
women's
think
fight,
it's.
she brings something different with that power striking where she can actually put
Mhm.
your lights out. And so yeah, I like that. Lucinda's a weird fighter, man. She's active, she's powerful, she's looking for submissions, she's looking for knockout finishes, she's ground and pound. It's a weird fight. I'm not really pumped for it, but it could be a good fight. It could be a war, but
Mhm.
you just don't know what the durability of these guys are. Cody, what say you on this affair?
I mean, I think if this goes one way, it could be interesting in the future. I think if Lucindo gets the victory here, I think this could catapult her in towards like title contention and give Whaley something new to contend with. Like you just said, she's got a different fighting style than most. She's loving the ground game. She likes to strike. She wants to sub you. She wants to strike you. She wants to get points. She doesn't mind going the distance. She's basically just like a half version of Whaley, I guess you want to say. She's not completely there. She's not going to be Whaley. Whaley's just a freaking
Well,
an
and she
animal of her own.
she's still young, different style.
Exactly. Exactly. She's one, and also that's the thing. She's 14 years younger than freaking her opponent here. Now, granted, she's got a 1 inch reach advantage, but she's 2 inches shorter.
So that kind of
So
implies it because you're shooting.
yeah, it nullifies it. But she's gonna have a better advantage of going to the body and whatnot, what she wants to do and things like that. But like you said, though, Lemos has the power. She's gonna have to dictate the pace here if she wants a shot. I'm going the opposite of Noah here. I'm gonna go with Lucindo here. I think Lucindo is just gonna freaking come away with a decision. It's gonna go the distance. It's just gonna be a points battle. We're gonna have a few combos that are gonna get the crowd going. Oh.
I
Maybe in the second round, but after that, it's going to be one of the boring fights on the card.
so this fight, I think Lucindo probably should win it. And when you look at UFC numbers by age, the younger fighter, especially by this margin, wins like 80% of the time, I think, or 85. But in the women's division, it's a bit of an outlier because the women fighters tend to age better until they don't, and then once they reach their peak, it goes down. But like you look at a Liz Carmouche, you look at Chris Cyborg, who's still killing it out there. All these people, and sorry, you look at all these women that are older and coming into their prime. So they age different in the fight game. The chin doesn't have to be there as much. So maybe that's better for Lemos. But when you look at Lemos's career, and I might bet this the night of the fight, I'm not going to make it one of my bets, but I could see Luciano getting a submission finish. She's not been great against the submission. She's not a great ground fighter. Got choked out on the feet by Jessica Andrade in a head and arm triangle. That's hard to do when you're that much shorter because Andrade is short as hell. Lemos is taller. I like Lucindo in this. I think Cody, you're right. She's got a lot more paths to victory, but I think she'll get a finish more than likely. But yeah, it could be a fun fight. I don't think it will end up being a fun fight. We don't know the durability of these women. Lemos could sleep this. I Main card, I get it. You gotta have it, but
I just see Lucindo being the contender, that
that's
the one that maybe is the best chance to move up and maybe face Whaley.
oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's the
absolutely.
best. That's the only thing I got from this,
But
really.
she still, I think, is two more fights away if she has a brutal.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Laylee might just move up because there's nothing left for her. Who knows? But I just think there's a lot of other fights you could have put in this place. You have Joshua Van versus Ray Tira. You have Curtis Blades versus Rizvian Kizirov. Fun fights on the prelims that have meaning that you could put on this.
How
But
about Curtis Blades, though, man? Before you move on, how about Curtis Blades
taking on
getting
it,
off getting off the fight night card and somehow sneaking his way onto a freaking 313? Like, what a guy!
he fought for the interim title in his last fight. It was weird that he was on the fight night card. It's weird that he's on
Mhm.
the prelims now, but heavyweights, especially wrestling heavyweights, sometimes they put on terrible fights. And I think that might be kind of what it is. Curtis Blades, I love him. I love his story. His fight style, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. But like his story, guy growing up with the stutter, um, something, it's just a really entertaining. It's an interesting story. The guy's fought through so much. He's a really likable guy. Um, he wasn't at first. He's come around, but yeah, nice to see him on a pay per view. The featured the featured prelim. Good for him. King Green versus Mauricio Ruffy though. Striker's delight. This whole card's a striker's delight, baby. I love this card. I mean, striker. You got Curtis versus Kazib, but strikers, baby. King Green, Mauricio Ruffy, Cody, Mikoy. We gonna keep the talking going on your end. What do you say about this about this battle, this war that these gentlemen are gonna be going to?
It's going to be a. I think it's going to end in the second round with Mauricio Ruffy coming away with it. Um, I think that he's just the one up and comer here. I think he's legit. I think he's legit. I think within 2 years we're going to hear Mauricio Ruffy competing for a title. 11-1 record. I think he's got what, 5 wins in the UFC, 6, something like that, 3. Um, he's he's talented, dude. If you look at the tape, he's good. He's really really good. And King Green, dude, he's 37, 38. He's up there. He's what, like 36-12. He's had almost 50 fights
Then
with
the
like no 32-16. Sorry, with one no decision.
yeah, so this is his fifth.
So his 50th fight, he's been up there. He's Father Time's caught up with this man, and he's caught it on the chin one too many times. And I think Mauricio Ruffy here, he's one of the strikers that are up and coming, man. He's got it. He's electric on the stand up. He's tough, dude. He's tough, tough, tough. And his leg kick speed is gonna will him in this fight. He's got great leg kick speed. He's got good targeting skills. He knows where to hit you. He knows where to aim for the body.
His
Um,
strike percentage isn't super accurate, but his strike placement, it's like a Conor McGregor almost with how Not.
And that's the thing. That's what he's basically known as. He's almost known as the newest Conor McGregor with his energy in the ring and how he kind of opposes his fighters and comes at you. He's gonna just he's not always gonna be accurate, but when he gets you, he knows how to target and where to target. And that's my thing with him. I think he's one of those guys, and odds makers see it. He's a minus 500 favorite right now. I think he's going to walk away with this one in the second round. He's top dog. I think King Green. He's coming off of what he lost to Pimblett in his last fight.
Yeah, it was armbar and a triangle. Broke his arm.
He didn't look very good. Pimblett put the work on him. I think he's older now. He used to have the speed with him, but I think if Green's going to want anything, he's going to have to rely on his power over his speed, and he's going to also have to rely on the jab combos because that's really what he's going to have. Only thing going for him at this point, being 37 in his 50th fight, his chin's seen enough. I think this might be his last fight, to be honest with you.
Okay. And before I move on to Noah, I do want to say this is kind of a throwback episode for me because normally after like the first 10 episodes, it's been like one, maybe two beers an episode. We're rocking on our fourth tall boy right now. We're just sipping and having a good time, and we're talking and we're having a good time, and I love it. And I just love talking UFC with you guys. I just wanted to say that.
Vibes are high.
I love the throwback. I don't like getting drunk really, but I used to when I made this show, and I don't like getting super drunk, especially when I work in the morning. But that's
sometimes when you're talking UFC and you're drinking, it just hits. So
it hits, and can't wait to have a watch along sometime. We'll have to do a watch along for 315. Cody, you come down. Noah, you come over.
that'd be fun.
Might have Schmitty come by. He's always said he's going to come on the show, but he always gets scared last second, which that's okay. He gets nervous. But Noah, this main card opener, your chance to steal the point, to steal the day, to get your win. Mauricio Ruffy, Bobby Green, give me the breakdown. Make this the fight of the year for me. Get a point, brother.
So before I start, Ruffy is a fighting nerd, correct? See, the fighting nerds right now, they're one of my favorite. They're some of my favorite fighters in all of the UFC.
How could they not be? Jean Silva, bro. About to kill you.
Last week, man, he went crazy too.
I told Cody, my favorite
Don't
fighter.
get mad on John Silva right now.
Oh, man, dude. John Silva. Best fighting nerd there is.
I love him. Moralo, he's great too. I mean, I don't know if it's exactly how you say it.
Brohayo.
Brahayo, yeah. He's an absolute stud. I think he's 2 fights away right now.
1 or 2 fights away for sure.
But yeah, back to the fight though. Ruffy, he's just a dog. I love the spirit of all the fighting nerds. They're so fun to watch. Every time they're in the ring, you just know it's about to going to be crazy. I think I was want to have a moment of silence too for Bobby Green. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, because he's King Green now, brother. That's what I'm
talking about. Rest in peace to Bobby Green.
Hey,
he's one of my favorite legs in my parlay for a long time. I just think, a little bit was left with him when he changed the name to King Green. I think it was just like a new page in his boat. I think for UFC, it's been horrible. I don't know. He just really hasn't been the same fighter as he was for a long time. He's just such a reliable fighter for UFC. He was kind of a project for a lot of the up-and-comers. But anymore, he's just getting smashed by everyone that he's been thrown at. That was disgusting, too, is the submission they just did last week. Well, not last week, his last fight. So, I mean, I'm going to have to go with Ruffy for sure. I say he has a good chance maybe in the first round, but I think second round is probably where it's going to happen.
Y'all are tripping. Bobby,
no way you're about to say. You know way you're about to say Bobby Green's going to come in for a sneak-in win for plus 300. You're incorrect.
No way.
Bobby,
dude, those Guinnesses are freaking flowing, bro.
Yeah, they're flowing.
I had this down before the show, bro.
They're flowing way too well.
So something else is flowing.
Let the king talk.
I need to know whatever you get from Circle K now.
Say, were you eating what you feed your chickens? What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah,
they eat my scraps now. We're not spending any money. It's nice. on a complete sustainable system. Get into that after this. We can't talk about the farm right now. So they're on scraps though. That's great. Bobby Green. Yeah, he's been knocked out by guys with knockout power. He's been tapped out by Paddy Pimblett. Hasn't looked great. When you put this guy up against a striker, especially a striker that's flashy, that's somebody that's his size, this guy schools on him. He old mans him for 3 rounds. Bobby Green's just in their face doing his thing. Mauricio Ruffy, I was huge. Nah, brother. I know he's older. He's still a baller on the feet. I'm not saying he's gonna win. I got a shot on him this week. I'm dog hunting, brother.
Is this where I insert my credit card?
Listen, you
Take
sit
my
down.
money. I want it all. I want it all.
Yeah,
Come
listen.
on, Matt. You're crazy.
So Bobby Green, you put him up against a striker. This dude, his chin has been cracked. Ruffy's not a power puncher though. Yeah, he's accurate, but you look at his last fight, especially versus James Lontop, who's a guy that shouldn't even be in the UFC. Lontop put it to him. It was a unanimous decision, 29-28, but that third round, Ruffy gassed out. Bobby Green's not going to gas out on the feet. Ruffy is. We've seen it. I love the Fighting Nerds. I'm with you guys. They're the most entertaining team. I'm going dog hunting. I don't like it when you put a prospect up against a Bobby Green. And to add to that, this is not the year for prospects. I know Ruffy's not undefeated. He might be, actually. But not the year for prospects.
11-1. Matt, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna give the point to me and Noah against you.
Well,
yeah, Luis ain't take your point.
It's a collective of the whole main card breakdown,
The
brother.
man has a 4-inch reach advantage.
Ooh, I don't like that. But with the way Bobby Green fights, there's fighters that can nullify a reach advantage by the way they fight.
He's been getting fraud checked so hard by when he's supposed to do the fraud checking though.
But has he though? Because let's look at the
Put the mortgage on Ruffy.
Grant Dawson fight. Sleeps him right away. He still has the power. That was not long ago. So the Grant Dawson fight, and then the Jim Miller fight, where Jim Miller's old, but Jim Miller's still winning everything. And they went to war. King Green took some shots in that, wins it. Tony Ferguson, he submits Tony Ferguson, so he's got a better ground game than Ruffy. We know that because
So you don't think that his chin? You think his chin can last 3 rounds though with Ruffy?
I think it could, yeah. Because I don't think Ruffy's like a Jalen Turner where even though he's pinpointing shots, it's when you're 6'3", and I know this from boxing because when I would fight guys, I would be 4 or 5 inches taller than the guys I would fight. When you're shooting down, that adds so much power to your strike, especially if you're catching the jaw. You're shooting down and you catch that jaw. It's an easy dislocation or break of the jaw because you're punching it down and out of place. So the Jalen Turner knockout, yeah, it was emphatic. That's what everybody points to, but he came back off of that and got knockout wins. So this dude I think he's super undervalued. I'm not putting a ton on him, but I like Bobby Green in this. I don't like it when you put a striker up against him because he would, especially a striker like Ruffy that's going to want to do style stuff and sit there and kind of point fight you for a while. Bobby Green's a much better point fighter. He's going to get in there and he's going to make it a street fight where you guys are point fighting for a second and then he gets in there and swings his hands. If it goes to the cards, it's going Bobby Green. And you guys might not think it.
I know it.
Hey, Cody, this 1,000 that's been put up for us each week, I'm going to take all your profit if Bobby Green wins. We're just going to zap you to
You're not zapping me. Are you that scared that I'm on that big of a hot streak?
No, you're putting all 32 or all 2,800 on Bobby Green. You're so confident. No.
I'm not putting 2,800 on Bobby Green. I'm putting 2,800 on Ruffy.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing. But no, I do think Bobby Green is going to get this done. I'm not like 100% sold because Ruffy is good, but especially if it gets it halfway through the second round. Ruffy's gas tank is shit. And you look at McGregor, his gas tank is shit also. The guys that fight like that explode into those precision strikes, it gasses you out because you're putting everything into one shot. But Ruffy has the advantage. He's the younger guy, more athletic at this point. But I just think with no ground game to worry about, Bobby Green, that's his world. He strives when someone's not going to put a ground game on him. So I could see it going to Bobby Green, but we're going to get into the bets. Before we get into the bets, we're going to go to the points. And I think I can say Cody made some better points on these picks. So at a 2-0 on these pay-per-view super cards, Cody McCoy, we're going to have to get you a chalice to send up there. Let's go, Kenny. Noah. You had some good points, brother. Hey, it was good. It was good. So we're going to get into our bets. And since Cody won, I'm going to defer to Noah first for the bet. And I'll let Cody end the bets. And then I want to talk about a few other things before we end the show. So, Noah, $1,000. How do you split it on this card, brother? Cody's up big. I'm up kind of big. Nothing compared to him. But you got a chance to get in this.
I'm definitely going to put 500 on Perreira. I think
at minus 115.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm probably going to throw 250 on Gaethje.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to have to go with Lamos. 250.
250 on Lamos. What a lame pick. All right. So I just want to go over the money that he could make since he didn't give it to us, Dick. So Lamos,
I got that question.
Perreira. So Lamos is 114. 250 gets you 535 payout.
Okay, 280. I think it would be like to a profit.
Yeah, it'd be 285 profit. Gaethje,
it's 126, right?
Yeah, let me check. Well, he's plus one.
He was like plus 130, I think, yesterday.
Plus 140 right now, so that gets you 605.
What do you want?
FanDuel or DraftKings.
I was gonna say FanDuel has him at plus 126. That's crazy.
I use DraftKings for mine because that's what UFC's sponsored and what they show on the show. So that's just what I use. And then Perreira, you got 500 at minus 115, gets you 934. We'll go 935 because it's so close. So I'll go next, and then Cody will wrap us up here since he won. So my bets, I got $200 on my man Joshua Van on the prelims money line. Minus 192 gets us 304 back. Then we're going Turner versus Bahamondes over 1.5 at minus 175. 300 gets us 471 back. We're going Fiziev money line 250 gets us 400 back. We're going with Bobby Green. We're putting 100 on my guy. 100 gets us 450. And then we got a couple of parlays because I thought I was way ahead of Cody and I wasn't. But our parlays, we got Bruno Ferreira, Marin Santos, Chris Gutierrez, $100 at plus 460, gets you 560 back. And then I got a gimmick parlay here with Myron Santos and Jordan Santos. Santos X2. $100 or $50 gets you 99.50 back. So total potential total potentiality of 1283 or 2283.
Okay, it's pretty solid there, Matt. I'll finish us off here. So my first one's gonna be all my bets are basically based off of FanDuel. I know DraftKings is a
Hey,
sponsor of UFC.
it's all good. You give us the numbers of what you got.
Right on. So, but FanDuel has this thing called a double chance. Um, so I have Pereira to win by TKO or points at -110. So I'm able to get a little bit better on the odds there with a double chance there because he doesn't sub, so I don't have to worry about that. I put 350 on that, and the bring back is 668.
Okay, so
So
350 total back is 658.
668,
668.
yes sir. Um, and then on the Gaethje fight, there's a thing called like the specials and featured props. There's one where Gaethje to win and round 2 to start at +170. I put 250 on that to bring back 675.
Okay.
And then I have Jalen Turner money line at +102. I put 300 on that to bring back 606.
All right.
And then I have a parlay to finish off my last $100. I got Turner Bahamondes round 2 to start -280. Lucindo -136. Gaethje +126. And then Green and Ruffy round 2 to start. It's going to be a +622. $100 brings us back 722.
Love it. Love that parlay. Cody, you've been doing the show with me for a minute.
Yes, sir.
You want to get in on, they've been doing it on MMA fighting. My guy, Jed Mishu, they do a climb where they pick like -350 to -500 bet every week and try to climb it to a certain amount. They
Are
do
you
a,
doing are you talking like a ladder challenge?
yes, so you pick one huge favorite each week, and then everything you win from it, you roll over to the next week, and you continue to do that, trying to get 30 steps.
Okay.
So, would you want to do that with me? We'll do, instead of 100, I don't want to put a lot of money up. We'll both put 5 up, $10 start. Noah, if you want to get in on this, we can do a $15 start, and we'll do it every week.
Yeah, I'd do it.
I think we got, let's see what our big favorites are. We got Carlos Leal, who's way too big of a favorite to pick.
Hold on. Can you still see me? Here we are. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with where'd you go? Dude, I like Petrosan over over Ferreira, honestly. At -158. It's not a big favorite, but it's enough to get us started on a profit.
See, I can't do that though because I put Ferreira in a parlay.
Oh, okay. So I respect that. Let me go
I'm
back
gonna
here
do
then.
something a little
Let's go
safer.
Curtis Blades.
We're gonna go Curtis Blades, everybody, for week
Cur-
one.
Curtis Blades would be fine.
Yeah,
He's
we can do
minus
that.
370.
Yeah, you guys. After this, we'll send $5 in, and we'll just. So if we do Curtis Blades for the first ladder of our climb, I have 325 here. That's what we'll go with since that's better odds.
Yeah, we'll go with 325.
So 5 from each, $15 gets us 1961. So that'll be our first one. And then next week, if we win, we put the 1961 towards the next climb.
I like that. That'll be
Yeah, it'd be
fun.
fun.
And see if we can get 20 steps, that would be awesome. 30 would be insane. But if we get to 20, we'll think about cashing it out, splitting it up if we're looking good. But yeah. So last couple things I wanted to talk about before we ended the card ended the show because we talked about UFC 313 forever. It was awesome. It's awesome. Awesome card coming up. But this week, just today, Dana White and Turkey Al-Sheikh finally announced the TKO boxing brand, the best will fight the best. It's going to be you're working your way up. It's going to be the top guy is the guy with the belt's number one, and everybody's fighting for that. Just like how the UFC set up, it's on meritocracy. That's what boxing's getting into with TKO and Dana White and Turkey Al-Sheikh. I can't wait for that. I'm sure it'll make boxing better. Boxing's been great since Turkey's taken over, but also things that are going on. We had last weekend. Speaking of boxing, did you guys see the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach fight?
I didn't watch it,
Yeah,
but I saw
yeah, the
it
draw.
ended up being a draw.
Yeah, it was a draw, and you guys saw the knee that Tank Davis took. I'm sure where it was like
Yeah, I did.
Mm.
that was fucking weird, right? Like that was bizarre, and
No
Yeah,
place
it's
in
definitely
boxing.
crazy.
yeah, I mean,
That's
if you take a knee, that's a knockdown no matter what. You said you got grease in your face. You can't go to the corner and be like, "Wipe my face off." That should have been a point taken there because you
I
can't
don't
do.
know if you saw where his hairstylist said that she didn't use grease in his hair either too.
I did see that. So yeah, I mean, Lamont Roach did his thing. He got robbed of a win.
Hmm.
Cody, this will make you happy. We were talking about this was it last week? The Kudalaba and Bukowskis. You said you want.
Maybe I think it was maybe last week or 2 weeks ago.
But we're doing our what's next for these guys, and you said you wanted Kudalaba versus Bukowskis. We got it. It's on UFC Kansas City.
No kidding.
Yep. So that card's filling out nicely, and then also on UFC KC, we got Matt Schnell coming out of retirement. He just retired in September of last year, already coming out to take on Jimmy Flick. Gonna be a terrible fight. Flick's not very good. Schnell's chin is completely gone, but Flick can't strike. What I brought this up for because neither fighter is really consequential in the UFC flyweight division, or they're not worth a whole lot as far as their name value at this point. I'm so sick of fighters retiring in the octagon, making a big thing out of it, and then coming back 6 months later.
What is this WWE?
Yeah, like
Like John Cena just turned heel, and I thought he retired at WrestleMania.
no. So this is his retirement tour.
Yeah, this is his retirement year.
Yeah,
Oh, come on! I thought he retired
no,
then,
Well,
no.
WrestleMania hasn't happened yet this year. WrestleMania is end of March.
or
Yeah,
whenever he
Yeah,
announced his retirement. Was it
yeah, it
at the
says
Royal Rumble?
retirement tour. So this is
he
like
he
his last
announced his
season.
retirement tour last year,
Hmm.
but that is awesome. What's going on there,
Yeah,
brother?
it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, John Cena
Probably
back.
get a new
Randy
theme
Orton
song
on
and
his.
everything.
You might not remember. Randy Orton used to kick people in the fucking head. He almost did that to Kevin
Hmm.
Owens at Elimination Chamber. He came out because Kevin.
Yeah, he's gonna be like 2009 Randy Orton again.
Oh man, brother! When I was
Yeah,
13, scariest guy in W.
2009 Randy Orton scare anyone. But do
Oh,
you think that it's off topic? But do you think that Jake Paul is gonna get involved with this UFC boxing thing? Like, you
Dana
don't
won't
think
allow it.
so? So I
he
was wondering, but I mean, like, he's putting in enough work. I feel like he could be allowed to get a chance in that, though.
no big he
He's not even able to get into WBC. Like, why would he deserve that chance?
right. So Dana might let him, but he would never want that because the matchups that Dana would give him would be real boxers, and if he fought a real boxer, like a
So what do
real.
you think about him fighting Canelo then?
He get his ass kicked.
I mean, he might look good for 2 rounds because he's so much bigger, but Canelo
Right.
kill him.
Yeah, I know. That's why he's just been calling him out so much lately. Yeah, I feel like it's probably gonna come to
The
fruition soon.
Canelo Paul fight would be just like the McGregor Mayweather fight, where McGregor won as many rounds as Mayweather wanted to give him.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
yeah, so uh, yeah, I'm not sold on Jake Paul in boxing. I don't really care for it. I know that KSI is fighting Dylan Dennis this week, and that's
I can't wait to see that honestly, just because of Dylan Dennis. Like you
you'll
always
have
gotta
to be
tune
my
in.
liaison for it because well, I told Cody I have my anniversary this weekend, so I'm going to watch the card Sunday morning and get my recap. But um, yeah, you'll have to be my liaison for the Jake or the Dylan Dennis KSI fight. But you guys heard about the GFL, right? I know we've talked about it a little.
Hmm. Him versus
Yeah,
Tony.
Yeah. So the GFL founder, I've been big dogging these guys for a long time because it's just so unorganized and such a bad idea. Teams in MMA, like teams in MMA, that's just dumb unless they're actually training at the same gym. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
if you have a
The
show
camaraderie.
season, that's cooler. And yeah, but when it's just random fighters assigned to a team, who cares? But the president Darren Elkins, he when they made the announcement earlier this year, he said we're gonna have our whole schedule laid out in February, and all the fights and everything's gonna be announced in February. And now we're at March 4th, and they have been announcing fights. They have no dates or venues announced yet, and the fights that they have announced would have been fucking awesome 10 years ago.
I'm about
Now
to say they're all what worse.
yeah, now it's like I don't want to see any of this. One, you got Yoel Romero versus Mauricio Shogun Hua. Don't kill Mauricio Shogun Hua. What are we doing? Dylan Dennis versus Tony Ferguson. Couldn't care less.
That's
It,
gonna be the funniest fight though to watch stylistically too.
it will be a funny fight to watch. It will. And then you got Chris Weidman versus Luke Rockhold, two guys that are old and past their prime. I mean, it's just a bunch of they're throwing a bunch of old names out trying to get some notoriety,
Clicks.
getting people to pay attention, and I feel like they don't have anybody that'll foot the bill for the venue for the shows, and that's what
Mhm.
they're throwing these names out, being like TBA, you guys could have this one, but at the end of the day, we know it's not going to happen. I don't think GFL will have a single event, especially with their top guys like Dylan Dennis taking a fight. You got Yoel Romero, he's got a fight in dirty boxing, so I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not super sold on it, but we better wrap this up. I don't have much left to say. We're just kind of rambling, ranting, and raving. Happy March to y'all. St. Patty's Day is coming up. We're sipping some Irish lagers just for the hell of it. This is Harp from Guinness. Cody's
Twisted
sipping
tea,
on
baby.
some Tweez. Noah's sipping on some Tweez. And thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This card is going to be a banger. UFC 313. Can't wait. Anyways, I'm Matt with Blood and Beer. That's all we got for you.